There's a reason why athletes are trying to get out of their head, right? That's what they're told to do. Get out of your head. Stop overthinking. There's a reason why they're trying to do that. And it's because they are so used to overthinking their skills that they're afraid that if they try to think about something little, then they're just going to overthink the skill. It's almost like I either can't think or I'm going to overthink. There's no in between. And there's a reason why that is happening. Welcome to the Mind Over Mental Block podcast. I'm your mental performance coach, Mandy Patterson. I know the weight of mental blocks because I've battled them myself as a competitive athlete. From back handsprings I thought I'd never get, to fulls I needed to stay on scholarship, I know how frustrating it is to feel stuck. And as a mom of 3 and former coach, I also know how heartbreaking it is to watch it happen. This podcast is for cheerleaders and gymnasts ready to stop overthinking, face their fears, and believe in themselves again. For parents who want a trusted voice to guide their child so they can simply cheer them on. And for coaches who strive to leave an impact that goes far beyond the mat. Whether you're listening together to or from practice or a big meet, or on your own in those moments when you're just not quite sure what to say or do, this podcast is for you. It's the pep talk you want, the tough love you need, and the encouragement you've been waiting for. So hit subscribe and let's go. Hello, awesome athlete and supportive parents. My name is Mandy Patterson. I am the host and mental performance coach of the Mind Over Mental Block podcast. And for you being here today, I am your mental performance coach. I thought it would be helpful to do a little pep talk, quick, actionable episode for you to listen to together on the way to practice to help you stop overthinking. So if you are tired of overthinking your skills, here's what I want you to do instead. The first thing, when it comes to your thoughts, I think it's important to talk about how your thoughts work. So when I get on the conversation or when I have an intro coaching session, that's that initial conversation that we have with athletes who want to work with us. It's a 20-minute conversation with the athlete. And something that actually comes up a lot is where the athlete is talking about how they think. And one of the things that is very common for athletes to say is, well, I can't overthink. If I try to think about something, then it'll cause me to overthink. Or I just overthink all the time. It's like my goal, it's like I try not to think about anything. And then my next question is always like, well, how's that working? How's it going? It's like, well, it doesn't work. I'm thinking about things. It's like, almost like the harder or the more you try to stop thinking, the more likely you are to start overthinking. There is a reason why athletes don't want to think when you are working on your skills. And there is a lot of pressure and fear built up. So maybe you're working through a mental block in a skill. Maybe you are coming out of the mental block, but you don't have that full confidence and trust built back up yet to throw the skill without hesitation. You're still hesitating a little bit, even though you've made progress. Or maybe there's a skill that you've been working on for a while and you're just not quite there. There's some pressure. And when you go to do it by yourself, the second the coach steps away or the second that you move away from that comfort area, the mat, the tumble track, your brain just starts to go like you're thinking about all the things. But what's interesting is a lot of times when those moments happen, if I were to come in there or your coach or someone asks you, well, what are you thinking about? A lot of times it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Does that sound familiar? If you're an athlete and that sounds familiar, you're like, yeah, okay, yep, I know what you're talking about. Adults too. I know adults. I'm a recovering perfectionist myself, and this is something that I experience in my own life, where it's like one thought, then the next, then the next, then the next, and you're like, I don't even know, right? Your head is spiraling with everything and nothing at the same time. So let's talk about why this happens. Your brain, when you think about something or you try to start thinking about it, or you're going for a skill where there's a lot of fear and pressure built up, your brain is sending signals and alerts that, oh, I don't know, this is a good idea. Are you sure we can do this safe? Like, are you sure? And then the more you think about something, the more nervous you get, the more panicked your body feels. Right? You start breathing a little bit more shallow. You're breathing faster and you're shaking a little bit. Your legs are shaking. You're sweating a little bit, maybe. You're starting to look behind you a million times. You're like fidgeting. Your feet feel weird all of a sudden, right? Your body is having a physical reaction to what you're thinking about and what you're paying attention to in that moment. That's why it feels like overthinking, because it's not that your brain is swimming with 50 things. It's that you're thinking about something that has such an impact on your body that it's reacting to it in a negative way. And it feels like a lot. You're a little bit overwhelmed in those moments. And so one thing I want you to understand, When you try not to think, that is actually not going to be helpful for you because your brain is incapable of not thinking. Your brain does not have the ability to not think. I'm going to give you an example. Don't think about a purple giraffe. Don't do it. Do not do it. Why'd you think about a purple giraffe? I told you not to, right? I know that's a silly example, but you thought about a purple giraffe. Guaranteed. It is because your brain does not have the ability not to think. So if I told you to stop thinking about something and you had the ability to turn your brain off, you would have turned your brain off. The other thing that's interesting is I said, don't think about it, and you thought about it. You did the opposite of what I said. So I want you to think about when you're noticing or you're trying to tell your brain to stop doing something or to avoid something, your brain almost like does it more. So when you're like, "Oh, don't look over there. Hey, someone's looking at you. Don't look." And you're like, "Where? Where are they looking?" And you turn right away. It is because your brain is naturally curious. Your brain's job is to keep you safe. The way that your brain keeps you safe is by helping you pay attention to potential things that can go wrong. So if you are trying not to think, guess what your brain's going to do? Your brain is going to come up with things to think about on its own. Okay. And if it comes up with things to think about on its own, and your brain's job is to protect you, what kinds of things do you think your brain is going to come up with? Do you think it's going to focus you on all the good things you're doing and the ways that you're amazing and successful and how good your tumbling is? Or do you think your brain's going to start thinking about things that could go bad and wrong and that you don't want to happen? Yeah, your brain's going to think about all the bad stuff because it wants to protect you because bad stuff can hurt you. Good stuff cannot. So it's not worth thinking about to your brain sometimes, right? Again, these are not things you're doing intentionally. This is how your brain is wired. We are wired very intentionally, amazing, right? Like when you're overthinking your skills, your brain is literally just doing its job. It's just doing what it's supposed to do, what it is designed to do, which is keep you alive and safe and healthy. Okay? That is what your brain does for you. But you get to choose to rewire those pathways and to create new, more helpful ways of thinking. All right. So we've already talked about why you overthink. Okay. You overthink because there's a lot of fear and pressure around that skill. So when you start to go for it, your brain is creating this case for why you don't need to do it. I've used this example on the podcast before, but I have several episodes explaining about mental blocks and where they come from and what they feel like. But it's almost like if you imagine if you're afraid of spiders and there is a room filled with spiders and you were forced to go into that room, oh my goodness, you would clean your room. You would be like, but I can't do it because I've got homework and I've got to go feed the dog and take out the trash and I've got a million things to do. It's like you would do everything in your power to avoid going for that skill. Your brain, that's how it works with mental blocks. When you are afraid of a skill or when you have pressure around a skill that you're blocking on, your brain is going to do anything it can to keep you from going in that spider filled room, right? It's going to try to distract you so that you don't work on that thing. So that's why there's a lot of tension and that overwhelming processes happening to your body when you're working on skills, that there's a lot of pressure and fear built around. So what do you do instead? So trying not to think, that's not helpful. It's not possible, right? But it's not helpful. If it was helpful, if you could control your thoughts all the time, all day, every day, we wouldn't be having this conversation, right? So what can you do instead? Well, the first thing, we already talked about this a little bit, but recognizing your feeling that you're having, your thoughts are there for a reason. So pay attention. When you notice that you feel afraid, what are you thinking about? What are you looking at? What are you about to do? That's a signal. I want you to notice, oh, I start to feel my heart race and I feel like I'm overthinking when I'm about to go for a back handspring because I'm thinking about I have to throw it. That's a lot of pressure. That's why. Okay. All right. Got it. So, really just being curious and paying attention to those moments when you feel like you're about to overthink. Okay. Or those skills or that second and third thought that you have when you're going for skills and you're feeling that overwhelm and overthinking. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to find something that is going to be more helpful because a lot of the times when athletes are working on skills and they feel like they're overthinking those skills, they are focusing on things that are not helpful. So they're thinking about not falling. With our exercise, our purple giraffe, That is when you try to think about something not to do, like stop overthinking. Don't fall, don't mess up, don't bend your arms, don't hit your head on the beam, right? When you're thinking about what you don't want to do, your brain is like, wait, what can happen? What? Oh my gosh, I'm going to hit my head, right? So it is going to go on overdrive and it is going to cause your body to react to that fear. It's gonna feed that fear. It's gonna fuel it. Okay. The other thing is focusing on what you want to avoid. I have to land this, right? I have to get this for a tryout. I have to have this for the routine, or else my coach is going to take me out. Focusing on things that there's a lot of pressure around, that's not going to be helpful for you either. Okay. So, a lot of times, the pressure that we feel in the moments when we're overthinking, it's because we're focusing on what can go wrong. It's because we're focusing on something where there's a lot of pressure. It feels like pressure when you think about that thing, or you're focused on outcomes, more specifically, negative outcomes that you don't want to happen. I can't fall. I have to have my legs straight. I need this for competition. So here's what you do. The first thing, pay attention. Pay attention to those reactions, those moments when you're overthinking. Notice what you're paying attention to that is causing you to feel that way, and then do something different. The more you catch yourself and practice shifting your thoughts into something more helpful, the more that is going to become your natural pattern and your go-to way of thinking. So that's going to be way more helpful. When you shift to things that are helpful, that you can control, that don't feel like pressure, you're going to walk into the gym so much more excited. You're going to feel clear. You're going to know what to think about that's not going to cause you to overthink. And when you know what to think about, you are going to see progress. You're going to know how to assess your performance in a way that builds you up and makes you excited. Lean in and be like, what other amazing things can I do? When you start to realize how much control you have over how you think, how you feel, how you experience your practices and working towards skills, you are going to have so much more joy, so much more confidence. You are going to just be thriving and you love your sport. But also, it's very likely your identity is wrapped up in your sport. So that means that you are your sport. When you are struggling in your sport, you feel it, even when you're not at the gym. And I want to make sure that you feel that confidence. You feel good about what you're doing when you're on that mat because it matters on the mat and beyond. And I want you to know how capable and amazing that you are. So I hope this was helpful today. If you want more practice, picking out your thoughts and sifting and trying to decide if they're helpful or not and knowing what to think instead. So basically, what do I want to say? What do I want to avoid? Especially when it comes to challenging or blocked skills, I have a free resource for you. So I have a brand new mental block hub. So it's a page for mental block support for cheerleaders and gymnasts. There is a free resource right at the top of that page. It is things to say and avoid to an athlete who is dealing with a mental block. So grab that resource. It is an activity guide. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with your parent, but that is a good way to help filtering through those thoughts to really uncover, oh, wow, I think about a lot of things that seem like they would be helpful, but actually they're just causing me to overthink and feel nervous and stay stuck. So that's going to be really helpful. Also, once you grab that freebie, just keep scrolling on that Mental Block Hub page. I've got some more podcast episodes about mental blocks and overcoming them that can be really helpful. Also, I have some ways that you can actually work with me and my team one on one, whether that's a one time session right before a tryout to help you feel prepared, or it's our full 3 month Mind Over Mental Block coaching program where we have a proven system where we help athletes work through mental blocks. We do that one on one. We meet via Zoom every single week or every other week. So we would love the opportunity to support you and make this mental block journey feel so much more easy and make sure that you walk out of this experience, no matter what, having learned how amazing and capable you really are. So hopefully we'll connect very, very soon. But until next time, remember you are amazing, infinitely capable, and stronger than you think. I will see you in the next episode.